it's like very personal thing for everyone ना, किसी का
Yeah.
कीनू पे है, किसी का मैग्नेटिक है, किसी का कुछ है,
Uh,
तो वही। अब जैसे फॉर मी कीनू एंड इजी प्रेसो आर टू हेफ्टी एंड टू बिग टू हैंडल। मेरे लिए
okay.
कॉमंडांट इज लाइक परफेक्ट साइज फॉर मी, या फिर सीटो।
कॉमोडेंट एक्चुअली काफी लोग को पसंद है। मैंने कल भी
हाँ
एक जन को यूज करते हुए देखा, तो ग्राइंड करते करते जो अरोमा आ रहा था ना, बहुत
यप यप।
सही लग रहा था।
कटिंग का है कुछ, मतलब कीनू एंड जेमैक्स आर वेरी गुड, इससे
ओके
बेटर है कुछ कुछ एस्पेक्ट्स में, बट
ओके।
इट्स जस्ट द हैंडल, मतलब क्या कहते हैं उसको, ease of use,
हाँ।
that's not for me. I'm a very average short बच्चा, तो मेरे लिए तो बिल्कुल नहीं है वो।
ठीक है, यू कैन जस्ट चेक विद डिस्कॉर्ड ग्रुप वंस अगेन। कोई
वही
अगर
वही
अभी
आई
भी
विल,
सेल करता रहेगा तो जस्ट चेक इट। या
हाँ हाँ आई विल थैंक्स। ठीक है, वी कैन ब्रू एक्चुअली। जब तक हम ब्रू कर रहे हैं, ओके, व्हाट आई वांट यू टू डू व्हाइल ब्रूइंग दिस टाइम, बीन्स आप लोगों के पास आसपास है ना, पहले बीन्स को आप एक शेक देकर बैग में स्मेल इट, आंख बंद करके, and just forget whatever notes you know about the coffee you have. Just forget about it. The reason why I'm saying this is because Rajiv, are you there? Rajiv hoga grab anyways. So what I'm saying, the reason I'm saying this because every palate is different first of all, and coffee tasting and even smelling is highly and 100% dependent upon what you experience in terms of what food you eat, what kind of ingredients you use, what drinks you drink, or which environment you live in. So a very sensitive palate, a very sensitive nose. Oh, ये क्या हुआ? Okay, let's just wait for 2 minutes. ऐसे लगा सारे के सारे एक साथ गायब हो गए। राजीव सर ठीक हो, ब्लर हटा लो।
इसका
तो मैं
दिन में भी
हटा
दिन भी दिखेगा।
ब्लड तो मैं हटा लूं। एक्चुअली
हाँ
मेरे यहाँ पे इलेक्ट्रिसिटी चली गई, सो आई लॉस्ट कनेक्शन।
अच्छा, एक्सक्यूज मी।
ओके,
हाँ और
आई एम
ब्रो,
ऑल सेट टू ब्रू माय
ठीक है।
आइस्ड समर पेरी।
राजीव इज
ओके
लकी के ऑटो ग्राइंडर यूज नहीं कर रहा है, मैनुअल ग्राइंडर यूज कर रहा है।
दैट इज ट्रू। आयु
ठीक है।
तुम्हारी क्या कॉफी बीच में फंस गई क्या ग्राइंड के?
ओके 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 ओके, जो भी कॉफी जिसका, आई जस्ट रिपीट फ्यू सेंटेंसेस। आप राजीव, योर कनेक्शन हैड लॉस्ट, so Vasu is back, Ashwin is there, okay. So what I was saying that just forget about any notes you know about the coffee right now, ठीक है? कुछ दिमाग में थोड़ा बहुत रहेगा, ठीक है, आपने पी रखी है, बट जस्ट ट्राई नॉट टू थिंक ऑन दोस लाइंस, या फिर डोंट ट्राई टू रेप्लिकेट व्हाट द बैग सेज। N72 में लिखा है बबल गम पाइनएप्पल ग्रेप फ्रूट, ग्रेप फ्रूट। मैंने जिंदगी में ग्रेप फ्रूट नहीं खाया, मेरे को घंटा नहीं समझ आएगा इसमें ग्रेप फ्रूट है या नहीं है, ना ही मेरे टंग को पता चलेगा कि वो नुआंसेस वो ग्रेप फ्रूट है। बबल गम इज अ वेरी डिफिकल्ट फ्लेवर टू रिकग्नाइज। व्हाई? बबल गम एक तो फर्स्ट च्युइंगम, सेकंड इट्स ओनली शुगर, थर्ड उसके अंदर जो फ्रूटी और जो फ्लोरालिटी एक आती है कंटिन्यूस च्यूइंग में, इट इज सो ऑल ओवर द प्लेस एंड ड्राई एट द एंड कि उसको ब्रेक डाउन करना while drinking the coffee is difficult. So what you need to do in that is you need to separate out, for example orange लेते हैं पहले, और how do you recognize कि इसमें orange है? Anyone?
Um, the wetness of it. That sounds wrong. The
सोच लो पहले।
सिट्रस, सिट्रस स्वीट,
Citrus sweet,
लाइक
अच्छा।
ब्राइटनेस तो रहती है, लाइक
अच्छा।
ब्राइटनेस।
ओके,
लाइक वो
जब हम
हल्का
ऑरेंज खाते
nearly
हैं
back.
उसके दो एस्पेक्ट्स हैं, पहला जो उसका पल्प है एंड दूसरा द फाइबर अराउंड इट, ठीक है?
The bite.
फाइबर को च्यू करो तो क्या आता है टेस्ट? कड़वा,
Water.
कड़वा लगता है and very specific bitter है वो,
अच्छा
and it
फाइबर.
dries your mouth as well. But the pulp makes you salivate. It's citric and sweet and has a specific orangey flavor जो हमको recognizable है to it. But just eliminating the oranginess of it, only thinking about what that fiber tastes like after taste में, that
Hmm.
specific bitter and dryness. लेकिन starting में
Yeah.
you're salivating because of that citric and sweetness. That's orange for you if you're getting all three. इसी
Hmm.
इसी में अगर आप bitterness को थोड़ा इंक्रीमेंट कर दो एंड एसिडिटी भी बढ़ा दो, ये आपका बन जाएगा ग्रेप फ्रूट जो इंडिया में मिलता है, बाहर वाला
Hmm.
ग्रेप फ्रूट नहीं. The grapefruit you'll have in foreign countries is entirely different and it will be much more sweeter and fresher and less bitter in taste. So that's a different case itself. Even in between Delhi and Chandigarh, for example, the fruits I've had in Chandigarh were way above the level of fruits I've ever had in my life. And that's opposite to Delhi. So it's सबका अपना अपना एक individual experience रहेगा. Rajiv might get cloves, उसके साथ orange भी शायद पता चल रहा हो, anything. But it's possible गर्वे, श्रावण, भाविका, any of us में शायद हमको ना पता चले वो सब. It's all to do with personal experience. सारे notes सही होते हैं. Because tasting notes is nothing but your memory.
Yeah. I think that's a
For
key thing
example,
that
certain
people often forget,
companies.
that you will recognize the tastes that you have previously tasted only.
Yes,
वो आपका जो मेमोरी बैंक है
exactly.
वही आपका रेफरेंस रहेगा. You won't suddenly realize that grapefruit tastes like this through the coffee.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true. I mean, now certain companies, not naming any, have tasting notes like very specific tasting notes like Sauvignon Blanc, champagne, Oreo chocolate,
Yeah.
strawberry compote. Now, किसको पता होगा ये, और ये कभी पता भी नहीं चलेगा. It's just a way of exaggeration. अगर कोई कह
Yeah.
रहा है कि Sauvignon Blanc, सिंपल बस दिमाग में व्हाइट वाइन डाल लो. व्हाइट वाइन रेड वाइन का डिस्टिंग्विश करना इसके अंदर वही अपने में बड़ी बात है. मर्लॉ एंड इन सब चीजों में इट्स जस्ट लिटरली अ कंप्लीटली डिफरेंट अरीना जो वाइन के इसके अंदर, I mean, और इतनी complexities हैं. It's just an exaggeration marketing thing. So this is one more thing. If any one of you might have got confused or wowed by it, कि oh my god इसमें ऐसा आएगा, just think wine, nothing else. White wine, red wine में distinguish करना बहुत easy है, but not all those things जो और segregation में आते हैं. So just think simple first of all. Think only in terms of broadness, floral, fruity, herbal, bitter, and what else? Woody. So when I say woody, earthy and all, इसके अंदर आपका सारा आ जाएगा. Tobacco, woody, burnt, all these things will come in this. हम लोग इस एक category में डाल देते हैं. Let's not complicate things. After you recognize कि हाँ ये काफी fruity है, then you sip it again, and then you just think, क्योंकि आप एक दो तीन बार जब सिप करते हो लगातार किस चीज को, your mind automatically goes back to a memory that is closest to what you're tasting. If you're tasting anything, if you're tasting jamun, just say jamun. That's it. Yes, Shravan, you were saying something? Shravan, you had a question?
You're on mute, Shravan.
अच्छा ठीक है. Let's just start brewing. I want you guys to smell the beans. Just realize what it is. Then grind हो गया coffee. Smell the grind and just not like this. बस थोड़ा सा shake करके, थोड़ा उसको aerate करके. Then just smell the grounds. Garvit, if you're saying something, you're on mute. Okay. Then smell the grounds and see how different it feels or not. It could be anything. Usually जो बहुत intense. हाँ?
Yes, Summerberry and N70.
Okay. So then the grounds just realize what's changed in it. We are doing this exercise because you're preparing your mind, your taste palette for it. Because when you cook food, you're smelling it as well, you're tasting it as well. Treat it just like that. I think we can start brewing now. So as you're blooming, also as you're pouring water, उसका भी अरोमा आ रहा है. Just keep on with it, keep brewing, अरोमा आता रहेगा. Just keep be present with what you're smelling. ठीक है? Vasu, are you brewing?
Acha,
I am
Shobhit,
already.
what do you
I
want, how
started
much
a
do you
bit
want
early.
the water temperature to be? Bhadrashtra,
Shravan, what?
water temperature for medium roast.
For medium roast, you can go for 90,
Yeah.
91, 92, anything what that you're comfortable with. पहले क्या किया है आपने?
Right. I generally go with 93, 94.
You go with what?
93 to 94.
अच्छा, go for 90, go 93. Vasu, yes,
Right.
you were saying.
Yes, I was not able to wait, and I did brew it already.
अच्छा, अच्छा, कोई बात नहीं.
You finished brewing?
Yeah, I haven't poured it yet. But
Okay, I have one question, not regarding taste. I mean, kind of regarding taste, but more towards brewing. Um, what do you think Bloom does? I am looking for a very specific answer. I'm not looking for कि वो coffee expand होती है तो carbon dioxide release करने के लिए and all that basic thing. So something else. हाँ, degas वाला तो हो गया.
It
I'm
gets the
looking for
sweetness
something
from the
else.
coffee. Sweetness in the
Huh?
coffee. Sweetness
It
in the coffee.
actually,
I
Okay.
think
So
yeah,
yes, it
how
it
does the
is.
begins.
sweetness change? How does the sweetness change in blooming?
Depending
No,
upon the temperature, I guess. Is it
Not really.
water temperature?
No. In blooming phase में, what changes the sweetness? Like what increases the sweetness? What decreases the sweetness? इसका आंसर एक्चुअली बहुत सिंपल है. Those of you who might have done a certain kind of brewing method, a recipe, would know about it.
The distribution?
No.
I think wetting, removal of
Okay.
water.
It's
I think you're
Tetsu
talking about that
Katsuya
4-6
4-6
method.
Yes, he knows.
Yes.
So 4-6 method जब मैं study कर रहा था, like
Yes.
brew किया, it was amazing. 2-3 बार उसके variation करे, bang on stuff that he was telling about कि क्या difference आएगा. So the basic thing is what I have done, I have took that idea and ये मैंने सारे pour over की recipe में कर दिया है कि bloom 40 ml से ज़्यादा मेरा जाएगा ही नहीं 15-16 grams के लिए. People say कि 3 times blooming होना चाहिए of your coffee weight and all that thing. Don't do that. I mean, do it. You will have a body, but sweetness अगर high चाहिए, especially when you have a darker roast या you have a medium roast, then उसमें when you just do 40 grams and you're just brewing for yourself, like just for 15 का double, so it's like almost 2.5 times. Only that much. So what happens is you're just putting just enough water and making the grounds wet for it. कुछ तो अंदर और science है which exactly I don't think Tetsu also knows about, but the lesser the water in blooming, the better. Like just the apt amount, not over
Yeah,
it.
he I guess mentioned also कि वो acidity के बारे में भी उसने mention किया था कि like
So
ज़्यादा ग्राम water
acidity,
डालो तो
yeah, that's right. So acidity is like the first 2 pours, na?
yeah.
Correct. So after blooming, the next 2 pours is your acidity, and the last 2 pours is controlling your body and mouthfeel. So the first blooming के बाद जो blooming और उसके बाद जो हम adjust करते हैं, what you're doing, you're also playing around with the acidity. So higher the sweetness, lesser the acidity वाला scene उसके अंदर आ जाएगा.
Okay.
So इसका एक sense शायद ले सकते हैं in the manner, how should we say, any citric thing अगर concentrate है हमारे पास उसका, if you put just the right amount of water, it will not feel very खट्टा. If you're getting what I mean. If you have any questions, you can say. If you are understanding, let me know. If you're not that, then also let me know. So what
No, just
happens, for
elaborate a
example,
little what you
नींबू
mean.
पानी.
I mean, for example, if you have a lemon squeezed, right, and you just have it like that, of course, it's the intensity, it's pure lemon. If you put a lot of water in it, uska, no, I don't think lemon is, but my point is, एक word होता है ना खट्टा पानी. Even while drinking water, drinking coffee, if it's too acidic, we just ये तो खट्टा पानी है. It might
Yeah.
not be as stringent, but it's very khatta all over. And sometimes what
Like
happens
it
when you
tastes
reduce,
tangy.
Tastes tangy.
It
Correct.
tastes tangy, yeah.
Correct. So उसी tanginess में अगर आप water level थोड़ा कम कर दो, the intensity of the flavor जो citric fruit या lemon किसी का है वो थोड़ा high हो जाएगा. So what happens? Even the sugar compounds, depending on the ratio of water and all, उसका रेशियो उससे बढ़ जाता है. वाटर कर दो तो शुगर कंपाउंड ज्यादा डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड है.
Right.
अगर कम पानी है तो शुगर कंपाउंड्स कम डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड है. दैट डज नॉट मीन खाली एक ड्रॉप पानी डालो तो भाई पूरा रहेगा. एसिडिटी का भी सीन है, बट यू विल जस्ट फील द एसिडिटी. शुगर बिल्कुल नहीं फील होगा. देन मे बी वो फर्स्ट टू पोर्स का
बट वही है ना,
है.
हाँ, और वो आप वो बोल रहे हो ना कि पानी कम कर दो तो वो रेशियो जो पार्टिकल पर मिल वाला हम कैलकुलेट करते हैं उसमें शुगर का क्वांटिटी बढ़ जाता है पार्टिकल पर मिल.
करेक्ट.
Along with acidity.
Correct.
Right, and it proportionally balances out the acidity with presence of more molecules of sugar.
Yes. Exactly that. Any questions? सबके brew ready है, I think.
I think.
Yeah. Tell me. Who's saying something? Someone is saying.
Raji, what are you getting? We are the ones who have the same drink.
Are you also having summer berry right now?
Okay.
Right,
Let's start with this then. Summer berry folks. Rajiv and Bhavika. दोनों का रेसिपी क्या था पहले क्या करके पता लगाते हैं.
Okay.
Bhavika, what was your recipe? Oh, sorry, Rajiv, continue.
Bhavika ji, cold drink मत पियो.
Gentleman.
Rathi.
Cold drink मत पियो.
Rathi always has the weirdest things to say to coffee brand owners. Bhavika, please tell me about the Clever Dripper first.
Clever Dripper, I used a 14 clicks on Encore, which is, this one looks like exactly like the pour over grind size. I brewed it for iced. I went as far as 170 because I didn't want it to be too cold, but I wanted it to be nicely extracted. I did a 40 grams bloom for a 15 grams coffee and waited for a while and moved on to adding up to 170 grams of water. I don't have a probe yet for it, so I won't be able to tell how much exact the temperature was, but it was off boil. And then rotated it, agitated it twice clockwise and twice anti-clockwise. This is Shobhit's recipe. And then twice forward and backward. Then I let it sit for 2.5 minutes and then let it pour. And I added just 60 grams of ice. That gives me 250. So my ratio is less than 1:6.
Okay. Rajiv?
So in my case, I took 15 grams of coffee and I ground it at 16 clicks on C2. So it was a little smaller in particle than your normal salt जो हमारा होता है, थोड़ा सा उससे छोटा. And I poured for bloom 1, I think. The thing is that ये कॉफी मैं पहले 3 बार ब्रू कर चुका हूँ और एक बार पहले कप कर चुका हूँ जो भाविका ने सैंपल भेजा था. 3 things I focus on with this particular coffee in my last 3 brews is bloom में मुझे aromatics as much as possible extract करने हैं So I used Shobhit's advice of pouring very, very slowly. So I almost slowed it down to a drop-like flow instead of pouring a very strong. My bloom went on for 45 seconds. Like just pouring the bloom went on for 45 seconds. And then I waited
इतना
again
स्लो?
for.
अच्छा ठीक है.
No, I'll tell you the reason for that. And I waited till 1 minute to make my second pour, which was again of. So bloom was for 50 grams, and second pour was also for 50 grams. And the reason being, इस कॉफी का जो आफ्टर
रीजन
टेस्ट है.
बाद में देखेंगे, आप बस रेसिपी बताओ.
अच्छा ठीक है. So second pour was again 50 grams till 115, and then third pour was again 50 grams till 145. Then I let the coffee sit for another 30 seconds, and then I poured it on ice, which is how I am having it now.
Okay, cool. So I know Rajiv knows how to taste anyhow. So you tell me what kind of notes you are getting and why.
Right. So there are two things about this coffee. At the start is the aromatics, which obviously have a very prominent sweet note. I think because I have read the description, so I got little influenced and connected it to
वो कोई
both
बात नहीं.
strawberry and raspberry. The aftertaste or the overall body of the coffee, it is very chocolatey for me, which I really like. This is one of the
Strawberry,
reasons why
raspberry, and you're getting body like chocolate.
aromatics aromatics जो है वो strawberry या
Aromatics is
sweetness है.
chocolate.
Yeah. Body and the notes are chocolates for me. Chocolate and a little bit of almond. And that's the reason why I had a very slow pour, because वो जो body की density है, I wanted to increase that because I knew I'm gonna dilute it with 60 grams of ice, which is what I did.
Okay,
So
okay. Bhavika, what you're tasting?
What I think is this. So basics first, acidity. The first sip will give you a good acidity at first, thinking acha you're drinking maybe an orange juice or like that's the level of acidity. Body is light, but the aftertaste is lingering. When it comes to the actual notes, I would like Rajiv says there is. So when you eat a silk, right?
No. Only just your mind.
Yeah, just like he says, ऐसा silk खाते हैं तो there is a lingering chocolatiness that stays in your mouth, right? That's the kind of finish it has. That's the almost the exact way in which I would describe कि हाँ that's melted chocolate खा रही हूँ मैं, not
And aroma?
aroma I'm not sure I can tell much. In fact मुझे तो पैकेट से woody aroma आया.
Okay, yeah. So
in a good way.
Rajiv, why do you say you have such a fruity berryish aroma? I mean, आपका batch अलग है क्या है? क्योंकि
I don't know,
क्योंकि
to be-
having a taste of chocolate and but the aroma of berry is थोड़ा contrasting.
No, I know
would
that's the thing. That's the thing. I think that's the thing. There is I think a bias at play here in my case. क्योंकि मेरा aromatics में I am someone who actually prefers the sweeter aromatics. So something which are closer to berries, something which are closer to जो एक apple-like sweetness होती है ना, it has that like density to it, that sweetness. But it's not warm. It's not sweet like cinnamon. You know, it's not a warm sweet. But it's sort of like a cold, cooler kind of sweetness जो एक apple में होती है, grape में होती है. Yeah. Refreshing, I would say. So I'm getting that from this particular coffee, only in the aromatics though.
Yeah, fair enough. ठीक है. Shravan, let's go to you. Garvit, Vasu, then everyone else.
Yeah. So I use 16 grams coffee with 16 clicks on C2. And
that's
40
like
grams
my Indian championship recipe: 16 clicks C2, 16 grams coffee.
Yeah. And 6 pours of 40 grams.
Okay.
And what I feel is a creamy texture of coffee, slight acidity, and a chocolatey flavor.
Why do you say it's creamy? What made you feel it's creamy?
it felt like थोड़ा dilute full fat में तो dilute करेंगे थोड़ा texture आएगा ना. That's the
अच्छा.
texture I'm getting.
Okay, fair enough.
That's the texture I feel.
So I believe that there has to be some kind of linger to it, a good amount of linger feeling
Yeah,
after
this
taste.
good chocolatey aftertaste. Chocolatey aftertaste. Yeah.
And is it staying with you for a long time?
It is.
Okay, perfect. So see the main idea here. Okay, Vasu, yes. आपके पास तो watermelon है, तो anyways it's like next level coffee. Bhavnish is doing. But yes, tell me what you're tasting
So,
and
like,
why.
yeah. So, first of all, I brewed it 15 grams on a higher switch, and
अच्छा.
I used 4 pours, 50 bloom.
Mm-hmm.
Then I stopped the switch for 100 for a minute on 100 grams, and then
Mm-hmm.
another 2 pours of 50-50. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
having a really heavy body with this, and I'm getting a mix of the dried blueberries
Okay.
and blackcurrant. Yeah. So when it was hot, I was getting blackcurrant, but now as it's cooling down, the blueberries are coming on top. I'm not having, like, as the packet says, I'm not having pineapple though,
Hmm.
and the body is a bit thick, so I'm thinking of putting in some more
Body is
bypass.
heavy for you, right?
Yes.
So I guess that's so I guess his matches a lot because he said it's heavy body, and whenever notes like blackcurrant and blueberry or black grapes in general, such kind of fruits are involved or notes. Generally, they only come out very well when the body is heavy. There were a lot of coffees that I've tried and cupped with someone in Bangalore, and his coffees do have very prominent blackcurrant flavor, but they only come out when you brew it in 1:10 ratio.
Mm-hmm.
So 1:10 ratio is something that it's not for everyone and it's not for every coffee, first of all.
Yes.
So 1:10 is super intense. Lekin, if the
Yeah,
coffee is
that's the
fantastic and certain
mocha pot ratio.
fermentation, that is what?
Stored
That's a
pot.
mocha pot ratio. 1:10.
Yeah, that's a mocha pot ratio. Yes. But it works brilliantly and it opens up certain kinds of coffees. Let's say if you buy something from Billy Who or Kokoro, you will get amazing stuff from the coffee in 1:10.
Yes. And I
So
think,
it's
like, that is because I'm enjoying this coffee more on the switch. I tried a V60
uh-huh.
as well, and yes, the switch is definitely better because I get a lot of more body with this.
Okay, fair enough.
I do want to
Okay,
try.
anyone else? Yeah, Garvit, yes, tell me.
So I did a 18 gram dose with 40 gram bloom, and then 2 pours afterward. One first was like 45 tak bloom kiya, and then 115 tak 180 grams, and then next for 30 seconds में last 300 पूरा top,
ठीक है हाँ
like the basic brew.
yeah
Uh, in terms of body, it's light, but it's lingering. Like there are two kinds of, like, one, when you drink it becomes, your tongues become dry, and then one is when it doesn't become dry, but it has, like, so I taste that lingering flavor on it. It does, my tongue doesn't become dry. I'm still salivating. So that's one thing that I've seen.
that that's the mouthfeel you're talking about.
Yeah, that mouthfeel I'm talking about. And in terms of taste, I like. So there's a little sourness in it, which reminds me of pineapple.
Okay,
Yeah, and I'm not able to
fair
taste
enough.
bubblegum right now, but maybe, like, I feel that bubblegum is mostly in terms of mouthfeel, not in terms of taste. I have no taste of
There is a
bubblegum.
taste. So which coffee you're brewing?
N72.
Okay, so मेरे पास ही वही है. In the do you have some left in the carafe? Let's
I
do this together. Okay, swirl it. Swirl it with me,
I'm also going to brew N72 soon. Again.
and then
One more.
take the aroma. Just think about the first thing you are smelling. क्या दिमाग में आ रहा है स्मेल करती सबसे पहली दो चीज?
Very difficult to put it.
कोई बात नहीं. फ्रूटी आ रहा है, ओके, ब्रॉडर टर्म्स। फर्स्ट जब भी हम टेस्ट करें ना, चाहे हम सीजन टेस्टर्स हों या हमने हजारों कॉफी पी ली हो, तो हमको सीधा मेन कंक्लूजन पे कभी भी नहीं आना है। दैट्स द एंड ऑफ यू। That's one thumb rule in tasting, nothing else. All the time go from broader spectrum, then narrow self your down. Pehla sniff, pehla taste, slurp should always be on the lines of fruity, bitter, woody, herbaceous, floral, all these things, broad terms. एक बार ये set हो गया, then break it down in the next 2-3 sips. And whatever you're tasting, whatever your personal favorite notes are, वो आपके हैं और वो हमेशा पहले 2-3 वर्ड्स होते हैं जो आपके दिमाग में आते हैं. It takes time to catch those words. आ जाते हैं, but it takes time to catch those words, which is fine. And because, for example, हम लोग बबल गम बचपन में बहुत खा रहे हैं, लेकिन अभी कौन इतना खा रहा है? और अलग अलग टाइप gums and everything, right? But the particular boomer, if I talk about, so एक particular coffee में boomer लिखा हुआ था. I didn't even
Oh my
got a
God.
single bit of it. I guess ये सारे words मैं बोल रहा हूँ, ये एक ही कंपनी के हैं. Some of you might know, some of you would get to know. But हाँ, अब जैसे से पाइनएप्पल लिखा है, पाइनएप्पल मेरे को भी नहीं आ रहा, ग्रेप फ्रूट भी नहीं आ रहा.
Grapefruit
What I'm getting in the aroma, first of all, let's see. पहला is pear and apple, सबसे पहला जो मेरे को आया है. ये तो अब थोड़ा और ठंडा हो गया है, hence is just that. Once it was a little bit hotter, that was the time when you guys were talking, तब मेरे को एकदम बबलगम आया था. वो बबलगम क्या था? जो बूमर का एक स्पेसिफिक अरोमा होता है ना, मेरी मेमोरी डायरेक्ट उधर गई. आई डिडंट थिंक च्युइंग गम या कुछ, मेरे को सीधा बूमर वर्ड याद आया. And I
वो
just
पिंकिश पिंकिश टाइप ऐसा इमेजिन हो जाता है उस टाइम पे.
Exactly,
That
exactly.
sweetness, yeah.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
here the color thing is coming in. I'm very happy about that.
Yeah.
Let's be Sheldon Cooper here. उसको नंबर पे कॉफी टेस्टिंग का भी ऑलमोस्ट सेम सीन है, ऑनेस्टली. आपको जब टबैको आएगा ना कभी माउथ फील में, या वो टेस्ट नोट आएगा एकदम हटके टबैको का, automatically you will have that passive smoking या smoking वाला, whoever does here, वो एकदम मेमोरी जाएगी उधर 110%. So it's that. So that pink color exactly what we see because of all the ads, the color of the chewing gum, the packaging of the chewing gum, the when you blow out the
bubble gum,
bubble,
तब वो बबल का कलर, तो वो पूरा एक स्पेक्ट्रम हमको पिंक का दे दिया है बूमर ने. तो वही दिमाग में आता है, which is completely right. There was actually a very good international event that happened online during COVID regarding sensory, and it was she's like 3-time sensory champion and a big shot in the industry. Uska tha, and this was exactly what they were talking about and how they train themselves. It's all about color theory, memory, your taste buds, and just mixing them all, even the music. Angela, yes.
Hi. So, medical question. Now, after COVID, how trustworthy are our senses and our memories of our senses?
Okay. So a lot has changed after COVID. See, I'm a product of COVID. इस industry में, coffee tasting में and everything. So I'm not the best person to tell about it, but ये पक्का है that whoever has got COVID and actually have those symptoms of taste and smell का, like to a good level, उनका टेस्ट एंड स्मेल का कभी भी 100% अब सेम नहीं रहने वाला है. 90% तक वो 90% पर आ गया है. इवन विद माय बेस्ट फ्रेंड, लाइक उसको हुआ था 2 बार, उसका 80% पर है.
Same here. Even I have experienced the same thing. Yeah.
So, whatever.
मेरा एक क्वेश्चन है.
हाँ बोलो.
मतलब shouldn't it be this is just a theory, but shouldn't it be opposite, that someone who have had COVID, I have not had COVID, so I don't know, I don't understand it, but since you they were not able to smell things. When you smell
But
them,
now you can, तो intensity ज़्यादा होनी चाहिए.
intensity
in
बढ़
that
जाने
sense.
लगा. That's my theory
No,
because
no.
I've not had it, तो पता नहीं.
So the thing is, because of those symptoms now, when your senses drop down and it's coming back, it's only coming back to a certain point. तो उस टाइम को आपको exaggerated और बहुत intense feel जरूर होगा कि ओ मेरे को वापस taste आ रहा है. But it is not sudden. It is very subtle improvement in smell and taste. और वो इतना slow है कि it takes over like 2 weeks, 3 weeks or even 2 months to reach that 80, 85 or 90% वाला level again and not 100%. So you
Yeah, I
never.
took almost a month actually.
So Kunal is a
Yeah.
good example here. तो अब आप वो इतना gradual था, I guess Kunal for you that
Yeah.
वो इतना intense feel नहीं हुआ होगा, right?
Yes. उतना अभी
So
भी नहीं
it's like you
होता
get
है, अभी
habitual
भी.
of it.
Yeah.
Actually उसका थोड़ा physiological reason भी है, because
हाँ, हो सकता
the
है.
whole reason why you are losing that sense of taste and smell is because your respiratory system and the nerves within it are getting a little
Of
affected,
course, yes.
and they don't recover to perfect immunity again.
Correct.
Like you said, na, ki it recovers to 90%. So that is what happens, that the health of those
Yes.
nerves is not back to 100%. So इसलिए
Yep.
भी वो difference आता है, and it remains because even after recovery you're still aging. So the age also affects your nerves and your
Yeah.
respiratory
Yes.
on that.
What an
Hence,
exciting time to be alive, huh?
अरे अभी एक और wave आने वाला है, news आ गई है.
क्या
Unfortunately, one more
wave
wave is
आने वाला
going to
है?
come in. एक और wave आएगा, not COVID, another virus next year or next year के
Oh.
around. If
I'm
it's not
already
contained.
imagining
Oh yeah, that one.
You don't know. We
नहीं
were.
नहीं, that one is my fault. I'm sorry. वो actually मैंने एक friend को बोला था, वो वायरोलॉजी लैब में काम करती है, तो I
अच्छा,
told her
अच्छा,
like
अच्छा,
मेरे को
अच्छा,
हाँ ऑफिस नहीं जाना था, तो I told her to make something up and I guess she made it.
अच्छा, अच्छा. Angela is curious.
She's nice like that.
Uh,
Sorry, Angela. I didn't know. If you have any plans, I didn't know.
Not
Na,
funny,
I just
Rajiv,
wanted
not
to avoid
funny.
office.
Okay, anyways.
अरे I'm very
ये
serious,
बहुत dark जा रहा है scene, Rajiv. Come on, be serious.
just like my whiskey.
Yeah, just like your whiskey. So,
Why
अच्छा
not?
हाँ बोलो बोलो.
Try
घर
freezing
के
whiskey and then putting coffee in it. It tastes good. I'm trying that now.
अरे प्योर कॉफी बची है, बच्ची अभी टेस्ट करना है.
हाँ नहीं नहीं वो बची है बट लाइक
Okay.
मैंने तो उठा के थोड़ा सा एकदम आइस क्यूब में डाल के करते हैं एंड दिस इज अ नॉट एन वाटर आइस क्यूब दिस इज अ विस्की आइस क्यूब.
अच्छा. Oh, nice.
Garvit,
Let's take one sip
I am
together.
always ready.
हाँ, राजीव बाद में. Garvit, let's take a sip together.
I am drinking N72 and I totally get jasmine notes from this.
You were getting jasmine last time also.
Yes, I'm totally getting jasmine notes from this. I'm
That's
not
because you're in Kochi.
jasmine. Yeah, I've done infusions here.
Acha, Bhavika, you also taste with us. So we have smelled it, right? जैसा भी आ रहा है. Then
You want to try?
roll it in your mouth. थोड़ा सा and then let it flow and drink. What are you feeling? Notes पे पहले जाते हैं. नहीं, notes छोड़ो. Dry or are you salivating?
Salivating.
Salivating. Then ये easily flow हुआ या heavy था?
I mean, it was a viscous flow. It was not a like it was not watery. It was not like
थोड़ा
somewhere
middle में
like
था.
little bit viscous.
ठीक है. Got it. What kind of sweetness, if any, that you felt? What kind of sweetness will you associate this with?
I have a very
कुछ भी हो सकता है.
experience. Just by the way, मतलब the first incidence of this coffee
हाँ.
gives me a very unpleasant experience. Saying
Unpleasant. Explain your unpleasantness.
the acidity goes up to my nose and my food pipe.
So it's astringent for you.
Yes. So
Okay.
at first I'm like, it's too much to take.
But
And
then
considering I'm on an empty stomach, it's even worse. I mean, almost empty stomach. So it's just, oh my god. would have been nice with a food pairing, but standalone, I'm like, array. And then afterwards, when you just let it stay on your palate, let the sweetness take over. Like the sweetness does sort of take
ओके
over.
ओके, हम अभी खाली फर्स्ट का बात कर रहे हैं. हाँ, तो वो अनप्लेजेंट है आपके लिए.
हाँ.
योर रेसिपी इज टोटली डिफरेंट राइट नाउ. आई डोंट नो हाउ. फ्लेवर ट्रिपर से किया हमने जो कल किया था वो.
हाँ.
ओके,
Yes.
वी विल सी क्या चेंज हुआ है. एनीवेज, यस गर्वित. सो
Kal-
ओके, लेट्स फर्स्ट सी फ्लोरल और फ्रूटी. फ्रूटी, बट ओके. वुडी, हर्बेशियस एंड बर्न्ट, इनमें से कुछ है? परफेक्ट. सो लेट्स स्टिक टू फ्रूटी फॉर यू. अब इस फ्रूटी में जो स्वीटनेस फील हुआ होगा, कौन सा क्लोजेस्ट कैन यू रिजेंबल इट विद?
मतलब आई डोंट नो व्हिच, लाइक जो सिट्रस फ्रूट्स खाए हैं हमने बचपन में, जैसे पाइनएप्पल हो गया या फिर अभी ऑरेंज की बात हो रही थी, तो देन लाइक वही जो एस्ट्रिंजेंसी की बात हो रही है, उसके बाद में कभी कभी जो हल्का सा खट्टापन नहीं आता, लाइक व्हेन यू आर हैविंग दी सिट्रस फ्रूट्स, तो हल्का सा खट्टापन आता है. तो वो जो
ठीक है.
हल्का सा बिल्कुल वो पीक वाला टाइप आता है बीच में.
ठीक है. सो योर फर्स्ट नोट इज सिट्रिक फ्रूट. खत्म बात. ठीक है. ग्रेप फ्रूट अब ठंडा हुआ है तो मेरे को फील हो रहा है बात करते करते. रीजन बताता हूँ. मेरे को इतना स्ट्रिंजेंट नहीं लग रहा है. मेरे लिए एसिडिटी इज एप्ट. मे बी बिकॉज आई एम ड्रिंकिंग अ लॉट ऑफ लाइट मीडियम रोस्ट कॉफीज एवरी सिंगल डे, और इंटरनेशनल और लोकल दोनों. तो इसलिए मे बी मेरे लिए स्ट्रिंजेंट नहीं रही है चीज. बिकॉज भाविका ड्रिंक्स लॉट ऑफ मीडियम डार्कर नो
Cold brew.
कोल्ड ब्रूज. तो मे बी इसलिए. गर्वित, यू व्हाट्स योर यूजुअल ड्रिंक? सेम मीडियम,
लाइट टू लाइट मीडियम.
ठीक है. बट एकदम क्वेंचिंग तो नहीं है ना.
मोर देन द नॉर्मल.
ठीक है, दैट इज फाइन, क्योंकि सिट्रिक है. सो व्हेन यू so astringent word, let's try using astringent word only when you yourself are feeling, जब लेमन खाते ना वैसा वाला, जब एक फेज बन रहा हो, and when you even feel a little bit of tenseness in your muscles, कि थोड़ा quench हो रहा है, tightness आ रही है, that's astringency. खत्म. ठीक है. खट्टापन के बारे में आगे देखेंगे. Yes, Shravan.
Shobhit, so my thing, if it's astringent, is it not under-extracted?
Not always. Depends on the coffee and
Okay.
processing. Okay, we will talk about this. I'll address it quickly. So Garvit, yes. So grapefruit मैंने अभी क्यों बोला? Have you ever had grapefruit though? Okay. Orange तो मौसम्बी तो खाया ना? So मौसम्बी सबसे close है grapefruit, not even orange. So मौसम्बी का खट्टापन भी ज़्यादा है. उसका एक particular sweetness है जो sweet lime जैसा कह सकते हैं हम, उसके कैटेगरी में है. And उसके जो fibers हैं is even more bitter when if you keep on chewing it. कट करके हम उसको समझ में खाते रहते हैं ना ठंडा, तो if you keep on chewing it तो खट्टापन आता है एंड में. It's that also. तो मैं इसको देसी टर्म्स में
फाइबर का खट्टापन बोला ना, फाइबर का जो खट्टापन बोला ना, आई थिंक आई डू गेट दैट. मतलब ऑरेंज के फाइबर का खट्टापन आई डू गेट इट.
Exactly. So try discerning, try cutting down the fruits in the sense उसमें क्या है. ये इस फ्लेवर नोट को कोई इंसान सिट्रिक पील भी कह सकता है, जेस्ट कह सकता है. बट इट्स द सेम थिंग एज आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट द फाइबर. बट आई विल नॉट से इट इज स्किन या उसका जेस्ट. व्हाई? क्योंकि आई एम नॉट फीलिंग अ कोट ऑन माय माउथ और माय लिप्स. क्योंकि स्किन में ऑयल्स होता है सिट्रिक फ्रूट का. इट विल कोट योर लिप्स एंड माउथ, ओके, और फ्रंट में आएगा वो, पर इसमें नहीं है.
मेरे में है,
आपके में है. ठीक है. सो इट माइट बी बिकॉज इसी में हम यूज कर लेंगे तो शायद आ जाए. सो इट्स वेरी स्पेसिफिक. एंड फ्लेवर नोट्स भी जो इसमें लिखे होते हैं ना, ये इस रोस्ट के नहीं लिखे होते हैं, ये सैंपल रोस्टिंग के लिखे होते हैं. सैंपल रोस्टिंग इज वेरी डिफरेंट फ्रॉम प्रोडक्शन रोस्टिंग. तो घर पे हम हम लोग इन कॉफीज का कपिंग करते हैं, we are actually not meant to cup these coffees, first of all. That's the hard truth I'm telling right now. ये भी मेरे को later stage पे पता चला था ये पैकेट जो हम खरीदते हैं, these are not meant to be cupped per se, but we do it because हमको बहुत सारी एक साथ टेस्ट करनी है, ठीक है। फ्लेवर नोट्स उसके निकल के आएंगे, वो आपको ब्रू करने पे ही पता चलेंगे अच्छे से। So always try brewing these, पर अगर 6-7 कॉफीज एक साथ आप ग्रुप में टेस्ट कर रहे हो, then it's a different situation. But I'm telling you one point right now. What Shravan said, three things or two things, let's just go over it. पहला, रोस्ट प्रोफाइल। नॉट नेसेसरी कि डार्कर द रोस्ट तो मेरे को बहुत बेटर और गंदा लगेगा माउथ फील में, मेरी रेसिपी पे बहुत डिपेंडेंट है वो। नॉट इम्पॉर्टेंट, अगर आई हैव अ लाइट मीडियम रोस्ट कॉफी तो मेरे को एसिडिटी बहुत हाई लगेगी, उसका फर्मेंटेशन, उसका प्रोसेसिंग एकदम सिंपल हो सकता है, तो इट विल गिव मी अ वुडी हर्बेशियस फील एंड नॉट एसिडिक। अगर medium dark में it's a highly fermented coffee, for example whiskey barrel coffee, wine aged coffee, gin aged coffee, all the yeast fermented 72 hours coffee, ये सब इसमें phenolic compounds बहुत high होते हैं। So phenolic compounds are the compounds that give you the fruitiness and the acidity. Okay, more towards the fruitiness than the acidity, but that's what first comes into the picture when fermentation happens, is the phenolic compounds जो increase होते हैं उसके अंदर। That's how the fermentation is also taking place and giving you that fruitiness to it. तो एक dark coffee, एक medium dark roasted coffee fermented in such a way can give you no slight bitterness at the end, क्योंकि वो इतना ज़्यादा cooked है, इतना developed है, but most of it will only be acidic and whatever flavor notes are coming in. So it's not always the roast level, first of all. It is highly dependent on the elevation of the estate as well. It's highly dependent on what kind of processing you have done. So always keep that in mind. I can, if you want, I can curate a certain kind of list for you guys where I will have a list of coffees segregated through roast and processing, and what it will aid you in understanding कि एक certain roast level की coffees but different process, maybe roasted by the same roaster or not, वो difficult होगा, but we'll see. It will make you understand एक dark coffee 3 आपके पास bags हैं but different processes कितना different हो सकता है। Their roast level only determines a certain kind of how should I say, benchmark. Light coffees are acidic, ये एक benchmark है बस, ना इससे ऊपर और कुछ नहीं। Light coffees are difficult to extract, that is just a brewing thing, क्योंकि development ज़्यादा नहीं हुआ होता है इनका। Dark coffees are bitter and heavy, that's just a benchmark. It has chocolate, dark chocolate, woody, tobacco notes, that is just a benchmark. कॉफ़ी अब इतना बढ़ गया है, स्पेशली हमारे स्पेशलिटी में, कि there is no right answer. There are certain ranges, but they are continuously being broken. There are plenty of coffees now in the world. Washed coffees होती है, पर वो blind cupping में washed नहीं लगती बिल्कुल भी, वो natural लगती है। There are, I mean, there have been incidents in SCA expos, in ICO, in all these, what you call organizations, that the most seasoned TQ graders in the world were not able to separate out Robusta from the Arabica Geisha lots. This is one of the biggest incidents that has happened recently. And एक और हुआ है यूके में, एक्सपो में हुआ था, where there were like 8 cups. One of them was Indian coffee, which someone just slipped in the middle, and they weren't able to understand what coffee that was, but they loved that coffee. And when they saw that it was a Robusta, it was a different thing. Of course, मैंने अब roast level से थोड़ा species पे आ गया हूँ, या फिर processing पे नहीं. But what I'm trying to say is, the barriers are being broken every day. So benchmarks हैं, go with it, but that's only for you in the start. Once you start experiencing more coffees, वो सब खत्म हो जाता अपने आप. मेरा brewing method अब V60 में is very hybrid. So I do 40. उसके बाद जेम्स हॉफमैन लगता है देखने में कि जेम्स हॉफमैन वाला मेथड कर रहा हूँ, 2 और पोर बाकी एंड एवरीथिंग लाइक दैट. बट इट्स माय पोर इज लिटरली वेरी सर्कुलर एंड लास्ट में पूरा डेड एट सेंटर. तो वो धीरे 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 करके ना एवरीथिंग जस्ट चेंजेस. सो डोंट स्टिक टू व्हाट्स what you are tasting is what you are tasting. Khatam baat. That's the whole thing about it. Shravan, did I answer?
I think
Yes, Rajiv.
that's also something I realized when I started seriously brewing in 2016, 2017. That पहली चीज तो ये, like you said, that cupping roast अलग होता है, production roast बहुत अलग होता है.
Correct.
Similarly, I think everything that you as a customer see for the coffee is specifically for you as a customer. क्योंकि इंडस्ट्री और प्रोफेशनल्स का जो क्राइटेरियाज है, डिस्क्रिप्शंस हैं, मेथड्स हैं, वो बहुत अलग है, तो यूज आई थिंक दिस इज समथिंग दैट श्रावण विल अग्री, क्योंकि ये हमने अभी रिसेंटली ग्रुप में भी देखा कि एस्टेट्स, एलिवेशंस, रोस्ट, प्रोसेसिंग, दीज आर jumping points, they are starting points, just to see if you find it interesting or not. The moment that you get the coffee on your brewing station, then it's all up to you. Brew it till you find the best cup that you like.
Yes, of course.
Brew it and experiment and change it till you find what you like about that particular coffee from that particular roast. Hi, Radi. So, I think, Shobhit, you will agree with this, that we need to simplify all of these commercial factors. So, so when we see these kind of very poetic or very eccentric descriptions of tasting notes, even from cupping side, I think it's like on a packaging, there should be like a disclaimer that, these descriptions or these notes are only representative, that they are not descriptive.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe
very
something
much.
like that.
My first ever gig or kind of work that I got was from Black Bazaar Coffee. So Arshi and me were talking for a while, and it's like in 20. This was few months before I won the championship. So
okay.
We were talking, and also she had sent me few samples to taste. And then we were just talking, and I got the work to have build some kind of blends for them and check the roast profiles of the coffee that she had. So 2 years ago, if you remember, there were coffees like Leapfrog, Galaxy, और ये सब निकल रहे थे उनके end से. Jumping Ant का roast change हुआ था, ये सब. So all those things were done by me. Now at that time, the tasting notes that they were also looking for were very on the Indian region and very local palate. And that's what I was doing at that time in my stories while writing about the coffees I was drinking. I remember an incident that there was a coffee I was tasting, I forgot which one. And instantly when I tasted it, or smelled it, it brought me to Shadi wala setting, Genda Fool.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
Now I wrote that. अब मेरे को था, मैंने लिख दिया. That's my memory I went to. Now no one taught me how to do tasting, but because I've had a food background, मेरे घर पे food का scenario is very different. I've been tasting a lot of different foods since I was in 3rd, 4th standard. तो इसलिए my palate is kind of sensitive to things, right? So I have a lot of memories for different kind of ingredients. So I wrote that, and one of the so-called eccentric figures in the coffee industry who have very strong viewpoints, a home brewer, very bluntly had responded to me and even commented live over there that I actually screenshotted and reposted as well, saying that गेंदा फूल is scientific का नाम इसका ये है, गेंदा फूल doesn't have an aroma, it doesn't have that, ये वो blah 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 blah. मैं सोच रहा हूँ गेंदा फूल how doesn't it have a aroma? तुम शादी नहीं गए हो क्या? हाँ, तो I was like, okay, what should I do? Then I talked to someone. He kind of calmed me down because I became very weirded out by that.
Yeah.
So it's something that people have gone way over their heads about, as you said. It's just that even if all of us जो Instagram पे perhaps हैं, अगर 6-5 लोग भी just stick to what they know and into the regional party कि सबको पसंद आए in normal terms, अपने आप ही एक ripple effect create हो जाता है. And I really highly believe in that.
I agree. I think
तो वही है.
ऐसा भी होता है कि 2 या 3 लोग जो बहुत articulated है या बहुत loud है with their sharing, they often end up dragging a huge part of the community. जैसे बीच में अभी हुआ था कि ये जो कॉफी पक्स की जो प्रेप होती थी, that became very popular in India. And there were people who were into espresso. There were जैसे पुणे में तुषार था, बॉम्बे में नितिन था. So they actually got people into puck prep. उससे पहले people had this thing that yes, we are making espressos, but puck prep specifically ऐसा कोई था नहीं लोगों के दिमाग में. So this has always been the case with I think community, because एक तो ये भी होता है we are home brewers, most of us, जो actually share कर रहे. तो this is where the depth of the connection happens online rather than in cafes or in meetings that. तो वो होता ही है कि we tend to have strong opinions also. We tend to have passionate conversations also. कभी-कभी वो थोड़ा सा brash हो जाता है, but most of the times it's actually quite fun.
Yes, of course it is. तो वही है. It's just there is just a kind of a, as we say na, criticism and constructive criticism. So it's just a constructive way of agreeing but not agreeing वाला scene पूरा इसमें, which kind of
I mean
guess gives everything.
I always categorize the negative responses in 2 ways. Either they have not yet had their coffee, so they are cranky, or else they've had too much coffee and they're on a caffeine rush.
Absolutely. Good one.
Shravan wanted to say something. Shravan?
Yes, Shravan.
So, coming from the Genda full discussion.
हाँ, बोलो.
हाँ.
So, I've seen roasters putting tasting notes of graham crackers.
Yeah.
अरे मुझे
Oh,
घंटा पता है what is
I know which one you're talking about. I exactly know which one you're talking about.
And I've shared this screenshot yesterday on the group also. I have no clue what it means to walk on a sand on a rainy day. I mean, how will I buy that?
That was a fun one.
I agree.
I mean, monsoon
Vinayak, this is not a scrum.
वो मिट्टी का smell आता है. Like monsoon malabar.
Yeah.
You get the monsoon feel, the earthy feel. But I don't know what is walking on sand or something. I'm not sure. Like, why do people do this? Like, नहीं करे.
It's more to do if you talk about companies who do this, who over exaggerate stuff and so many synonyms and etc stuff. It's more to do with the fact that the public का जो psychology जो है as a buyer and as an Indian audience, it's not an Indian audience, just a human tendency of trying to have what they can't, right? Always reaching out a little more. अरे यार मेरी वीडियो क्यों अटक गई? हाँ, always reaching out to more. Always, like for example, a certain cafe in Mumbai, a very big brand in Mumbai, जो brain है उनका, वहाँ पे all the affluent and the cream of Mumbai goes there. And you can see that on Instagram clearly. Every one of us know what I'm talking about. So even though if
I
the
have no
coffee,
idea.
No,
Rajiv, you're very
non-Mumbaikars have
innocent.
no idea, like not walking on sun.
Rajiv is very innocent in this.
No, I don't really know. I honestly, कौन है?
So now
Okay,
with the closed group is discussion. Go for it.
बता देंगे.
Are you talking about Sabko?
अच्छा, आओ.
चलो आगे. पता ही था राजीव श्रावण एक ही जैसे हैं. भाविका was right.
अरे मेरे को नहीं पता.
चलो तो अब उस जगह पर people like कार्तिक आर्यन, मैंने ये विनायक को भी बोला when I was talking to him. So people, all these Bollywood influencers and all these people go to only सबको. ठीक है? पर when we see that, चलो हमको तो पता है क्या क्या है, but the normal public when they see कि सबको है यहाँ पे ये जा रहे हैं, चाहे वो कुछ भी हो, वो एक बन जाता है कि अरे यहाँ पे ये लोग जा रहे हैं, हमें भी जाना है, क्या है यहाँ पे.
Makes sense. Yeah, true. That's
even
true.
though if they won't buy the coffee, the
Still
packet,
they will go.
Exactly. So that's like creating a market. It's pure marketing genius, nothing else. विराट कोहली promoting Rage Coffee, yes. So Rage Coffee तो खैर instant coffee है, वो तो market ही उसके अंदर funding इतनी high है because of the mass volume and the buyers that are available in India for instant coffee, कि it's very easy to do that. So yeah, not only Virat Kohli, but there were many, I think at one point, a bunch of hundreds and thousands of influencers, and Virat Kohli. He's an investor in Rage as well. That I did not know. Okay, interesting. So yes, in that way. So it's like always attaining what you can't.
It's a marketing strategy in short.
It's all marketing. The photography. Do you know who does photography for Sabko? The product.
Hussein or
Anirudh.
someone? I forgot the name. Yeah.
It's Vicky Ratnani.
Okay.
Oh
So
my
Vicky
God.
Ratnani is
Who?
that Bollywood photographer, the most famous one.
It's
Dabbu
not
That's
good.
Dabbu Ratnani.
Yeah. So
They have even
Dabbu
got some
Ratnani.
I guess एक book भी शायद launch हुआ है उनका.
I think so.
इंसानियत or something कुछ नाम है.
Yeah. So even during my time in Mumbai in the finals, Dabbu Ratnani had come, and we all were just discussing कि भाई इसका phone ले लेते हैं, contacts मिल जाएंगे. So just a fun point over there. But yeah, so he's the guy who does photography for him. So the level of funds, just and the kind of whatever they want to achieve, they're just going ahead with it, right? But that does not only mean कि इसका threshold नहीं आएगा. Consumers are not fools.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
Someday, be it later in few years, or any day or not, but कभी ना कभी एक point आ जाता है when you see the reality and the downfall. So it's
I mean,
all about
high
what's good
and
after
low
it.
तो हर industry में आएगा ही ना, because
Of course.
I mean we used to see this whole rise of tech startups between 2012 and 2018, and then they did crash. तो उसी तरह
Yeah.
coffee का भी आएगा, and I'm not talking pointedly about Sabko alone. I mean, even Blue Tokai has highs and lows.
Yeah.
Obviously, COVID also caused a lot of problems for many coffee brands who were smaller and they were only launching recently, but unka, they had to stop the operations and all. I think एक चीज ये भी है, other than marketing, is that जैसे अब श्रावण है, so Shravan remembers that walking in the sand hook, when you talk about marketing hooks. So they want to try that, like they want that ki they hook into something of your attention. It could be good, it could be bad, that's a matter of case, but they do try for that. They will hook into something which will make you remember them. Raman, you want to say something?
I'll be someone, अगर इतना ज्यादा नाटक किया तो खरीदा भी नहीं. Like I'll be like, अरे ग्राहम क्रैकर्स मत बोलो, क्रैक जैक बोल दो, मैं खरीद लूं.
नहीं, like I said, like that's the thing that
Exactly.
It could be nonsensical. That marketing could be nonsensical, but it still does the work that it got you to mention it. it got you to remember it.
जैसे Dinchak Puja.
Yeah. Oh
Who
my
said that?
God. Kunal.
Kunal.
Yes. Just like Dhinchak Puja.
That was
Oh
the
my
best crossover of the day.
I
Imagine
think
सबको
ये statement था to end the session for today.
हाँ यार, I think we've
I
went
had a
overtime, na?
point.
Yeah, we are. Angela wants to say something. Yeah.
Angela?
Yeah. So I think it's also probably because of like Shobhit said, aspirational,
Yeah, that's the
the
right word.
whole middle class and upper class, lower class. Like if you didn't grow up eating graham crackers, of course you will think, why are you being so pretentious?
Uh-huh.
But like if you've had like maybe if you've had cheesecake with graham crackers crust on it or something, then immediately you're taken back to a memory where you've had cheesecake or something like that. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe, for
Yeah.
example, right now there's a lot of Lotus Biscoff that's coming in because of
Yeah,
cheesecake. So if you say
correct.
suddenly Lotus Biscoff because I've had it in a
Parle
cafe,
G.
exactly, yeah. So I think it's the whole aspirational class
Yeah.
differences.
Yep, I agree.
Hmm.
Making
Making
something
something
sound like
sound like
Western also
Western
happens.
also helps.
Not anymore. I don't believe that now.
Hmm.
Only to a certain
I
point.
don't think I don't think we are any more
Yeah, that's what. वो
non-Western
time
now.
चला गया अब हमारा.
I mean, at
Everything
least
is
the
more regionals
specialty,
now.
and the specialty coffee audience already is pretty westernized. I mean, they are
Yeah,
all part of the standard American culturism and so on.
correct.
I think
So
the opposite has also happened. The use case scenario is if everybody for the longest time thought Bata is Indian.
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah,
And then
I
you
was in
that's also a
Italy.
marketing
exactly.
strategy.
I
Yeah.
was in Italy, and my Italian classmate and one of my Kenyan classmates, we all three saw Bata, and I was like, "How is Bata here? Bata is Indian." Then my Kenyan friend was like, "No, it's African. You didn't know." Italian was like, "No, it's Italian." So
Uh,
it's like Bata is one of the best marketing force ever. They're so
Arre.
regional to every country that they think it's theirs, and nobody knows it's
Hmm.
where.
Yeah.
So
I
Louis
think
Philippe,
Finland,
And I don't
right?
think there
this
is
are all come
I don't
into
think there's a
Bata
better
marketing
is
brand
strategy.
positioning you can achieve.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
from Finland to some Scandinavian country it
I
is.
believe
I
so.
think.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Czech
possible. Yeah,
Republic. They're from Czech Republic.
Czech Republic.
Thank you. Yeah.
I couldn't even would have think about कि वो Czech Republic की company है. Nothing about
Van Hussein
Bata
is
is from
Indian,
Czech
right?
Republic. Yeah.
वो नेम ही वैसा है ना.
MF.
Peter England is also
बाटा
Indian.
की चप्पल इंडिया की पहचान.
Yeah. Oh, that's the tagline, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Chalo yaar.
Alan Solly, all of these
एलन
brands are
सोले है,
Indian.
लुइस फिलिप है, सब
Yeah,
आदित्य बिरला
Louis
के ही
Philippe is Indian.
Peter
Yeah.
England भी उन्हीं का ही है.
Yeah,
हाँ.
all owned by Unilever. If
Hmm.
I remember correctly.
I think
हाँ,
Aditya Birla.
आदित्य बिरला भी है, आदित्य बिरला
Aditya
भी है.
Birla Group. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, बहुत अमीर हो यार. Like so many fancy brands, you know.
नहीं
हाँ
सर,
आपको तो
ये
कुछ
सब
नहीं
कॉलेज
पता.
में पढ़ाया गया ना, तो थोड़ा ध्यान दिया था तभी बस.
राजीव
Very
तो सब
middle
मैं
पता
class
तो
है.
guy.
I am like
ब्रह्मचारी
I
राजीव
am
is
like
here. Seriously.
yeah. I mean मैं ऐसा था like I used to like consider Palika Bazaar as fancy. And
अरे
तुम लोग
रे
ऐसे like
ज्यादा हो गया
Alan
अभी ये.
Solly and all that.
विनायक, let's close the call. बहुत रील फेंक
Yeah.
ली किसी ने यहाँ.
चलो
हाँ,
bye bye.
चलो.
Take care
See you
everyone.
guys.
चलो,
Yeah.
see you.
See ya.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Good day, guys. Thank you.
Lovely session.